Dum, 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 dum. And the computer says we're live, and you might have seen me singing before we even went live. I don't even know when it actually started streaming, so I was in a good mood. Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. And for those of you for the first time to my channel, welcome. This is my one of my 2 live streams a week, and this happens to be the Wednesday one. Welcome. This is the time when I get to work on my art and get to watercolor a little bit, practice and talk. Hey, yeah, we did hear the singing. Oh no. Okay, I'll go in a corner and cry myself to sleep. Anyway, let's get started. I mean, this is a new let's say wreath that I did, and I was on a roll and I was making wreaths and I was doing lots of stuff. So you know, I did this one, and this one actually even has eucalyptus leaves, which I'm starting with the first time. So by the way, autumn, obviously it's autumn outside, everybody knows that. And you know, in autumn you have a lot of chrysanthemums, flowers. So this is what I was trying to do right now, to do a bit of an autumn view on this, because, well, why not? Oh, okay. It's so funny. I'm getting notifications of other people doing live streams also with a wreath. Okay. It's always a good idea to make your own. And I did also this one when I was in Copenhagen. Like I said, I did a little bit more. By the way, if you're wondering what brush I'm using, this is the Silver Black Velvet number 4. It's a round brush. It's really nice. I haven't used it in a long time. I don't remember why I stopped using it. I think it was just because I was using the Escoda brushes a lot, and I really like those ones. The silver brushes are also nice. The only problem is sometimes harder to control. You get you get some time to get used to it, okay? But that's okay. If you're wondering about the color, there's a cobalt turquoise with some viridian in it, and this is this kind of like blue green that I've created. So I mixed it just before we started with the live stream, just so you know, because eucalyptus has its nice properties, but the leaves are kind of minty green, kind of that style. So the best way to do that is to choose cobalt blue. Notice how I put in the colors down, and then I'm just coming with clean water and pulling it over. It will not create a hard edge. Why? I'm using 100% cotton watercolor paper, and it takes a while, and it's cold pressed, so it takes a while till the ink actually goes really into the fibers, so I can still activate it and I can still do this part. It might not work for all the colors. Some colors are quite staining, but these particular ones are not, so you know, it's okay. Okay, I have done the leaves first, and welcome for whoever joined. Yes, I was singing. Johan keeps reminding me that I was singing. Yes, I was singing. I don't know why I was in such a good mood. I had some fun with the kids today, with the cats, and they were pretty fun, let's say. I was playing with my Widit. She's my female cat, and she likes to go after balls. So we have these very soft balls, and I just throw them around. Like, you have to pump her up a little bit, and then she goes and tries to catch the ball and brings the ball back, pretty much like a doggy, which is weird because she's a cat, but you know, we're gonna get past that one pretty soon. She likes to play with the ball. Her brother, not so much. So I had lots of fun today playing with her. Basically playing catch with her all over the place. It was quite once that I threw the ball and it reached the other cat, Happy. He was just standing there innocently looking. And then Deet just crashed right into him. And he was like, what just happened? I don't understand what happened. He was a little bit out of sorts. Okay. But it's okay. We still played on, and it was quite fun. I don't know, she's like a ball of energy. Yeah, Dit the doggy. That's how we call her. Dit the doggy, yeah, indeed. I'm going to do some leaves, some random leaves here, right? Notice that I changed a little bit the hatching on the leaves as well. I'm just trying new things, and I'm trying new styles of leaves to see if I would like them or not. How will they look like? What's going on? Kind of things like that. And if you're wondering what's with the weird veins on them, and I'm just going to try some even different things. I'm going to try permanent green, and then I'm going to bring in some, let's say, red on the other side, because this leaf is kind of dying, right? I mean, it's autumn, so I want to bring in the autumn as well. And it's so funny that these two colors, the May green and the permanent green, they're more like bluish greens, so pretty much cold colors. And I'm going to bring in some, well, let's do orange, some permanent orange. Okay, so what was I doing? Yeah, playing with the doggy today. Had quite some work, and we finally we changed our how do you call the bed covers to the winter bed covers. Man, a few days ago I was a little bit too cold, and I was like, it's very cold, the winter has come. It has been a transition, very hard transition, as in one day was warm and now it's cold. I think we missed the autumn in between. I don't see how that went or where the autumn went. It's a mystery, I would say. It's very much a mystery for me. But anyway, we've done it. It's okay. And now, last night I slept actually good, because, man, the winter covers are really thick and really nice, so I was happy about it. I wonder which leaves should I do more. Okay, let's do this one. Let's do the same. Okay, so what colors are you gonna use today? Oh, okay. I mean, questions. Okay, that's good. So I was thinking on the flowers, there's gonna be a combination of red flowers and a combination of yellowish flowers, and of course the colors will be super muted and so on. And then the leaves, I'm going to concentrate on this kind of like, this will be like some neon-y, as I call it, colors. And then other leaves I'm going to make with like an olive green, right? It's gonna be olive green, and I'm gonna add reds and so on. And these ones, these special leaves, I wanna do with maybe grays and actually browns. So grays and browns. So that's kind of the scheme for today. Of course, we're gonna see how that goes. I'm starting with the leaves. I was actually indecisive today. I was thinking if it will look nice, if the inside of the wreath I will also color in. I was just wondering how that would look like if I would make kind of a galaxy or dark sky, but only on the inside, not on the outside. and because I added this moon and so on, and it looks like a dream catcher more wreath. And then I was wondering, would that make more sense, right? Would that make more sense to do the inside? So I haven't decided yet. Maybe I'll get to it, maybe I won't, I don't know. But I want the leaves to be more autumn leaves, okay? So that's why I'm doing this. I'm probably gonna do this one the same. So I'm trying to do all the leaves that are the same in the same time. I'm noticing that I forgot a leaf there. I'm gonna go back to these ones, and the ones in the back is gonna be more yellow with this blue. So this is how it's gonna look like. For the colors, like for the red colors, I'll probably use alizarin crimson, and probably gonna go down with perlin maroon because that is really nice, and maybe put in some kind of purple. Purple really darkens everything up, so should make it more fun, but we will have to see how we do that. I don't want to have it way too dark or way too weird, but you know, needs to be. Gonna add this one here. And by the way, I'm alternating between transparent orange and alizarin crimson as the red parts on the leaf, just to give it a little bit more interest. But you already can see the leaves that they are turning like more like autumn leaves, personality, let's put it this way, right? Let's try in here. You wonder why I'm starting with the leaves again, just like last time, is I want to get first practice with my hand. I mean, I'm using a new brush today. It's very good that I'm using it because I haven't used it in a while, and it's still a very good brush, and you tend to pay a lot of money for this, right? Silver black brushes are quite expensive, but still it has a weird shape, so you have to get used to it. That's the reality. By the way, the secondary color, so the green, this neon yellow green, it's called May green, it's from StreamCam, and the other part is permanent green, also from StreamCam, so more darker green, but the two colors work very well together. The only thing to note with these colors is when they dry, they tend to dry really muted, so you just have to take that into account, that don't be afraid to add a lot of color in the beginning because they will dry muted, okay? So that is the thing. That is the thing, the theme also for this. You see here I'm adding the red, it's pretty red, but when I'm going to spread it around, it's gonna mingle, it's gonna be quite okay. Yeah, it's nice. That's pretty cool. I'm trying to figure out which leaf will look nicer if I start with it. And sometimes I may think, why do I start with this color when there's so little of this color still remaining in the end? Because the other colors quite overpower it. So this May green can be overpowered really easily by all the other colors. Sometimes I'm wondering why I'm starting with it, because I might in the end not use anything of it. I added a bit here. Let's see if we can mix. It's nice that the two colors, whenever you do green with red, there's brown exiting from that one. So it's nice to see that one. Okay. They look like reggae leaves. Reggae leaves. Okay. 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 Yeah, if you look like, okay, if you think about where reggae comes, Jamaica, and you know the guys, they're having those special hats, and when you're thinking about it, like those aren't the normal colors, right? These colors of green and red. That's true. No arguments there. But why didn't I think of that? Hey, where did that idea come from, Johan? Are you listening to some special music that everybody wants to know about? Or something? Tell us. How did you come to that idea with the reggae leaves? Were you secretly listening to Bob Marley doing a little bit of music? Secretly? That's how we do it. Okay, I'm trying really hard not to touch any of the leaves because I have a tendency to touch my work and then everything goes a little too much. You know what colors I haven't used in a while? The Sumie colors, the Japanese watercolors I haven't used in a while. Maybe I should start using them again. That will be something. I've got a leaf there to do. You know why I think I stopped using those colors is because they're not really transparent, so it's very hard to do things like build on top of each other. In a way, it's their strength, and in another way, it's also the the other part. I think it's the singing thing to them. Man, I just don't. I would like to sing some reggae right now, but nothing comes to mind. Dun 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 dun. I don't know. I'm really bad at singing. It's probably people should not let me start singing because that would be terrible. You guys saw it in the beginning, okay? My singing is not in any shape or form very good. But yeah, this is what we do, and this is how we do it. Where was my permanent green? It's so funny that I bought these colors. I bought the Schminke colors, the permanent green. All of this was in an original Schminke palette that I bought. It was 12 colors. And I bought them 3 years ago or longer than 3 years ago. Anyway, I still, if I look at the watercolors I use like these ones that I use from within a tube. When I fill the pan and I do it from the tube. That one lasts forever for some reason. But I mean, not from the tube. The one from outside the tube lasts forever, and I have absolutely no clue as to why, because the ones that I myself fill have a tendency to finish very quickly. So it could be that they have a special technique when they fill the pans, that probably make layers and then it descends and then they add a new layer and so on and so forth. I think that might be the reasoning, because to be honest, I don't understand why. Like this permanent green, I've been using it a lot, and nothing, there's no change. See how this one turned into brown? There's no change, like it still looks like it's a full pan. So this is like so weird. But then the Potter's Pink, I filled it like 2 times, and I don't know, it just ends very, very fast. There must be something that I'm doing differently than the rest of the populace. I would say that the May green, it's still a very nice one as well. Maybe I should let it dry out a little bit. The only thing with the May green, it's a nice color, but it can be quite opaque sometimes. So we need to be careful how we do it. Notice that I'm going back with a clean brush and I'm scooping out the color because I added way too much. And then that will make it look a bit like I made a mistake or something, you know? So. We can add dots later on to signify the fact that the leaves are dying. You know, when leaves are dying, they get these spots on them. So, you know, you could kind of say that this is how an actual autumn leaf looks like. I'm trying to keep again my arm on the other side, so I'm not touching anything. Okay, so what else happened? We got lots of rain here. Only today was a bit dry, so it didn't rain that much, but the other day we got lots of rain, like lots and lots of rain. I actually wanted to go out, but not in that type of rain. You know, like sometimes it just rains a little bit, you can go out with an umbrella, it's kind of okay, but the rain from yesterday was like, I don't know, raining from all directions in a way. If you understand what I mean. Maybe I should try to make a drawing about raining in all directions. I don't know how that will go. Yeah, that will be cool. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. And tomorrow we have a special date, as in we take the kids to the vet. So tomorrow is going to be the weirdest part ever, because one of the cats will like to go to the vet and the other one doesn't like to go to the vet ever, like ever. And we're gonna struggle to put her in the carriage. That's gonna be interesting how we're gonna be able to do that. And Happy is easy, although he might get scared from what happens to his sister. So he's usually very brave. He doesn't say anything, but whenever his sister is a little bit in a trouble or doesn't like it, then he gets scared as well, and he's like sympathizing with the sister. So we're gonna have to be very careful. I hope we are prepared for tomorrow, and there's nothing really wrong happening tomorrow, as in it's the normal yearly checkup, because they have to go every year to do the checkup, where, you know, the doctor just checks their teeth and everything, making sure that there's nothing terribly wrong there. And they get an injection, like the yearly injection. Are you ready for the vet? No, I'm not ready, because I'm gonna start crying, because I know the kids will, like, Deet is going to start crying and meowing the whole way. And by the way, the vet is like 15 minutes from us, so it's not really that far away. But I know that they will start like meowing and going like berserk, and I'm not sure I'm ready for that. You know, so we're gonna see what we do tomorrow. But it has to be done. Like, the kids needs to go to the vet, the kids needs to take their vaccination, and, you know, have their annual checkup, because otherwise you never know what happens. Like, there's always going to be something. Like, I notice sometimes with cats, they can be quite unpredictable, and sometimes they don't have any outside noticeable diseases, but they can be quite sick. So a vet is the best person to actually go in and figure out whether there's something hidden, right? And they will also be weighted. I'm always curious to know whether they gain weight or they lost weight. Sometimes it kind of goes up and down. What we're trying to avoid is not have those kind of chubby cats ever, because that's very unhealthy for them and very unhealthy for us, especially when we want to pick them up and do stuff. So yeah, we try to stay away from the unhealthy kitty cat. So we measure the food and we try to ensure that the food is appropriate, but you never know. So the vet will check them, will weigh them, and will tell us whether they're, you know, above a limit or below a limit. And I think that will be the best. I don't know if you guys check your your cats, but yeah, we do have to check our cats. And our cats were taken from the asylum, right? So they weren't with us for their first, let's say, 2 years of their lives. But now that we have them, we think that we should, you know, just be taking care of them properly. So Johan is asking me, poor person that has to catch it. Yeah, Johan, I think that's you. I think you will have to catch it. I will be the one holding the carrier up, or maybe I can try to catch it. I don't know. We'll see. But you know, the fact is, we know that don't get hurt, right? When you catch them, you put them in, but they struggle so much, and you think, okay, am I holding too tight? Am I trying too much? You don't know. And then of course they're gonna be crying and struggling, and then yeah, it's gonna be an entire drama tomorrow. It's a good thing I don't have a live stream after tomorrow, because I'll probably be full of scratches on all my parts. So that's gonna be interesting. The scratch part. I know they're gonna scratch me. So anyway, I am still holding out hope that eventually they will start to like the vet. I'm still holding out hope. Maybe in a few years, you know, they get used to it and then go like, okay, it's okay, we like the vet. But you can never be sure, man. You can never be sure of this. You see how nice this color is? This color is called Rich Green Gold. And it is from Daniel Smith, and it's a really nice color. It looks a little bit like when you're drawing algae inside the water, right? It looks like that, but it's a really nice color. So, and then the other one I'm doing is Undersea Green, and it's a really dark green, but that matches this color, right? So I'm gonna add a little bit more here. It's a little bit more like gray green kind of situation. I don't know if you catch that. It's of a gray green kind of situation here. And then on the tip I'm using Perlin Violet, also from Daniel Smith, but it's a violet color. And you might wonder, why do I use violet? It's because I think the colors go well together. And anyway, it is autumn, so leaves will start doing crazy colors anyway soon. So makes no sense to stress about it. Okay, only a few leaves of that type remain, then we can move on. Okay, let's do this too. We do Rich Green Gold. By the way, what I wanted to change my palette, this one, because I have two colors from the small palette. I have a small palette here, and I have two colors I want to port to this one. And there's some nice yellows, but I don't know what to replace them with, because I kind of use all these colors on this big palette. So I've decided that I'll have only one lemony yellow, so kind of one color I can live with. I can get rid of the cadmium yellow and put the Nickel Azo yellow from Daniel Smith in. But if I want the quinacridone gold hue, then I have to exchange another color, and I don't know which color I should get rid of. This is really, really complicated thing to do. Because when you made a palette like this that doesn't have any spaces left, then whenever a new color comes into the picture, you go like, okay, what should I use? How should I use it? Right? The only thing I can consider is that I have one jaune brilliant and I have one Naples yellow, and mostly I use Naples yellow and not jaune brilliant. So I'm thinking, you know, which one I use the least, and then do that. I still need to think about it. I have way too many colors, man. I have way too many colors. This is way too complicated than it should have been ever. I don't know. I actually wanted to go to an art shop to see if I can buy some new colors, and then I realized that okay, I'm having way too many colors, and I don't even know when I'm gonna be able to use them again. Like I had my Mijello shed. I haven't used that one in quite a long time. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting how I'm gonna use it, how that's gonna work. Okay. It used to be my favorite. Of course, I'm also not doing painting every day. Maybe if I would do painting every day, and maybe this is something we can talk about, right, Johan? Do you actually need to paint every day or to practice every day in order to get good at? Because this is something of a debate, right? Some people say you have to practice every day. Some people say you have to, you know, draw every day or do something every day. And especially with Inktober right now, right? That's like you get 1 month where, you know, you hunker down and you learn something new every day, and you learn a new technique, and you know, this is how you do it. The question is, is it actually needed to improve? Because I have a feeling that maybe not. Maybe we can do some different things to improve. I notice that I don't paint every day. I paint way more than I used to paint. But what I'm noticing more is I'm also watching a lot more videos of people doing art than before. And somehow my mind is able to, because I'm watching so much, is able to internalize that. I'm also doing a lot more watching on my old, like I'm scrolling myself on my own Instagram, and I'm watching my old posts, trying to see, you know, how I used to do things before and how I've improved and what I can do better. And I think by doing that, I don't necessarily need to go again and say I practice every day. I think maybe for certain skills you do. Like if I would like now to say I want to learn how to draw people, that might take me a month or two, but then that is purely technical, right? So there's two things. There's the technical part and there's the not so technical part. And I think drawing people is very technical. Let's put it this way, right? So let's see. By the way, I'm using Nickelado yellow on these leaves. And I'm gonna bring in like purple afterwards. So what do you guys think? Do you need to practice every day? Or is it okay you should practice twice a week or 3 times a week? But then you supplement that with other types of learning by watching or by, you know, observing. What do you guys think? In my opinion, Johan says, my opinion, not every day, but very regularly. Okay. Okay. That seems I think every day is a little bit unrealistic for most of us. Every day is a lot of time, to be honest. Depending how good your skill drawing library in your head is. Okay, let's do that. So would you say then that maybe for a beginner, like if you're just beginning right now from scratch, you don't have much of a library, then you have to practice as much as possible. But once you reach a certain space, a certain things, then you don't have to? Would that be something? Or am I wrong here? And I'm just, could be that I'm wrong. I notice that I'm improving, but I don't do it every day, right? I do it in steps. I might do a few paintings in one day and then stay the rest of the week not doing anything, right? So it could be that I'm compensating in that one day when I'm doing 5 or 10. I'm doing 5 or 10 of these drawings. It could be that I'm compensating for the entire week when I'm not doing it. Then again, that is also not something that you want to do forever, because you don't want to cram, all your learning in one day. So I don't know. I was watching this YouTube video a while back, right? Not now. Don't think it's now, but a while back there was this girl. She used to be very famous at dancing, like this kind of weird, like gliding dances and so on. And she used to be very good at that. And she was showing, like, I was thinking, how did she learn? Because she was quite young. She was very young, like 12 years old or something like that, right? And then she was saying, well, I am watching a video of somebody else dancing so I can learn the move maybe 100 times, 200 times. So she kept watching and watching and watching and then repeating. So basically in my mind, this is kind of what I'm doing as well, right? I'm watching, and then repeating that. So yeah, you are drawing for sure 2 to 3 days a week. That's good to improve. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I think you cannot get away with just one time a week. I don't think you can get away with that. But I think it needs to be a balance, and it needs to be something that is achievable by more people, right? Because I think there's a big difference between saying you have to, or being an advocate of, you're gonna do this every day. Like there were these challenges, like draw 365 days a year, like draw every day for a year. That could be, man, but mentally, I think mentally you need a break. So, okay, let's talk about this, because now we're getting to something. Mentally, I think you need a break, because in the end, this painting, this learning, it's the same as working in a way. So you do take breaks from working, right? So having the idea that you're gonna 365 days a week, a year, you're gonna draw, that, I don't know what that tells me, but probably that some people are a little bit of a workaholic, because you technically don't work, even like if you have a job, you don't work 300 and something days a week, a year. You work on average 220, 230, because you have the weekends in between, and you have vacation, and sick days, whatnot. So you never do that. So why would you stress your body and your mind for 365 days for drawing? Because, you know, that's gonna create a lot of stress, I think. So definitely you can choose, but you should still have a break. And I do believe that sometimes when I have a break, that's when I come up with the ideas, and that's when I come up with new techniques and so on, because I have a break, and that break is used to think, right? Yeah. I'm doing a very common yellow star thing. It's so funny. Isn't that where burnouts come from? Like when you do things for every day, that means your mind never gets breaks. Your mind never stops thinking about the problem at hand. I'm not sure how healthy that will be. I mean, I had a burnout at work from just work. Imagine now, I don't want to ever get into that situation ever again. But that was me working in the weekends, working always being on call, always being available. And I like to think that I learned my lesson, you know? I like to think, but of course, that's a different thing. Okay. I'm doing the beads red so that they stand out. We need a little bit more red. Yeah, that is nice. Okay, now I said that I wanted to do. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 flowers, okay? So 5 flowers. So that means 3 and 2. So 2 of them are going to be the same color. 3 of them are going to be the same color, right? So what color should we use? I think I said I wanted to use alizarin crimson. So let's start with this one. I'm gonna add, by the way, and then I'm gonna come and do the first layer. I'm gonna do the first layer, and this is gonna be really interesting. And then on the bottom, we're gonna do this perlin red. It's a different type of red. It's okay. It's gonna dry out nice, right? So the alizarin crimson is more violet in nature, and perlin red is more to the yellow. It's a nice combination to have. And trying to, and I'm gonna do the first layer. This is a new technique I'm trying, right? In the past I would have done every little petal separate, and I would have painting everything separate, one by one, very very silently and softly. And now I'm doing it all at once and and seeing what can be done. And then I'm going to come and I'm gonna darken colors, and I'm gonna make it even darker, and you know, even more stand out. So let's see how that goes, how that works, if that makes any sense, because I'm trying to figure out faster ways to do these flowers that are so, how do we call them, intricate, I would say, you know. Let's see if that works. Let's see if the we will only know once it's dry out, right? That's when we know, and that's when we'll know what's the next layer that's gonna be, and how we're gonna do that, and what we're gonna do. You can see that it does create some nice variations here, because this color is much warmer than the, and by this color I mean the perlin red is much warmer than the alizarin crimson, so it creates a nice contrast. This is where you want to go. So you know what I'm curious about this flower is how it's gonna dry out. That's gonna be my curiosity stream. It's gonna yeah, make me super curious. Okay. Thinking watching can teach you sometimes more than 365 drawing. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Indeed. So, for some reason I still feel like I need to sing. I am going to use neutral tint for these leaves. Some of the leaves will be neutral tint, some of the leaves will be brown. I want them to be super muted because this is autumn. So it's super muted. Neutral tint is like a gray, purple-ish kind of thing. So it's a special type of gray. You know what cool stuff is about neutral tint? Is once it's dry, you can't remove it. So usually people use neutral tint to put the underlayer, so to create the shadows in everything. Let's say that you have an object to draw, like, I don't know, an apple or whatever. So you want to draw that one, but you want to do the shadows first. There's two properties of neutral tint. A, it's transparent. B, it doesn't go out. So what you can do is you can do the shadows in neutral tint as your first layer. And as your first layer, that will dry out. It will look nice. And then when you put your second layer with the real color that you want that leaf to be, you know, it doesn't matter which real color you want it to be. This one is transparent. It will not smear because it doesn't get reactivated with water. So it's the perfect, let's say, underlayer that you can ever have. And that is why I like neutral tint. And that is, maybe in a way, that is why it's called a tint, right? Because if you think about the word tint, that is where it's coming from, because it's tinting. It's actually tinting the paper, right? Permanent stain on the paper, basically, right? A lot of the other watercolors, they go into the fibers, but you can still reactivate them with water. You can still kind of take the water out. And that is because they are not staining and they're not like that permanent, and they have bigger parts, or, you know, they're more granulating, I would say. And then that granulation helps you to, you know, take it over once it's dry. But not all of them do that, and neutral tint is a special one. You know, if you think about oil painting, there on oil paint, not only oil painting, there's different painting techniques. You know, you start with the shadows, and it's called like grisaille or verdale. It's coming from French. Verdale means you do the underlayer with green. Grisaille, you do the underlayer with gray, right? And that means you do the shadows first and then you do the real colors. And you might see that in other watercolor artists or in some other instances, right? So yeah, it's an interesting concept. If I were into drawing objects, I probably will have to use that, because that is much easier than adding shadows afterwards. And I don't know about you, but me adding shadows out afterwards, sometimes it takes forever. So that's a good idea. Yeah. I'm still waiting for this one to dry, because I know it's not dry. I can see it from the side. You guys cannot see it probably from above. You cannot notice that, but I'm seeing from behind it's still a little bit wet. So I'm still waiting for this one to dry, because I want to see how many layers would it take. So, you know. And after the neutral tint, we maybe want to do a reddish brown leaves. Let's see where we go. Okay. Down. You definitely need more layers on the neutral tint than normally what you would have. Notice that this one is much more muted than the one before, where I did it like with the red leaves. That had a different vibe, okay? So yeah, let's do a second layer also on the moon here. I'm doing quinacridone gold hue on the moon, and then I'm gonna see what we can do to soften the edges. Okay, like that. Okay. I'm gonna add some stuff. I'm gonna add some more things. I'm adding the perlin violet on the top of the leaf, just to add a very dark violet there. And then I'm gonna come with a brush and going to move things around. By the way, the latest movie that I was watching today was Violet Evergarden. The Violet Evergarden movie came, and you might wonder, why do I want to cry? Yes, I know I'll cry, but secondary to that, man, Violet Evergarden was always the anime with the best like drawing experience, with the best art. Like, it was so nicely drawn, and it's still so nicely drawn. It's on Netflix, by the way, if you want to go watch it. I really recommend it. I mean, not necessarily for the story, because okay, let's face it, you're gonna cry, but more for the purposes of realizing what nice art is. at least in my view, what nice art is, and you know, get inspired a little bit to do something similar, maybe. Because to be honest, that type of art, yeah, okay. When I'll grow old, maybe I'll be able to do that. Maybe after years and years of of practicing, maybe I'll do that. Okay. You see? Now I'm going to test this flower. I'm gonna test. It's still. We're gonna test it. What happens is it's still wet, but I still wanna have. Let's see if we can do this without making a mess. I'm adding Perlin Maroon to the mix. And trying to see if we can spread it around. I'm also trying not to add too much water. If you add too much water, then that will just create this blooming effect. So what I'm doing is every time I'm getting some new water from the bucket, I am putting it on a tissue paper next to me to blot out the excess water. It's something that you'll get used to. Initially I wasn't doing that and I didn't know why, you know, all my things were not so good. I'm going to do alternating this color. I wonder. What I wonder is also, what if I bring in some yellow now? Would that be transparent enough to be okay? For example, I'll bring in some of the nickel azo yellow and we'll see how that goes. That will be fun. That's gonna bring a lot of fun to some of these leaves. Okay, it's not a bad idea. You see what happens? This is what we call glazing. Glazing means you add color on top of each other and then this is what happens. This is actually quite nice. It gives it a different dimension, right? Because we're not only using red to make things, we're not only using red to deepen things, but you're using different colors. Creates a kind of a gradient, right? So let's see. Okay, and what if we use alizarin crimson again for some of the leaves and make them more alizarin-y, right? I'm making them more stand out. Yeah, that would be nice, I think. Okay. Okay. This technique is the first time that I tried. Does it give me more control than normal when I'm doing this. I don't think so. Normally what I will do is I will do every leaf, right? Every petal, and I will super control it here. I'm not that much controlling it, but yeah. It still looks really nice. I bet it's gonna look really nice when it's gonna dry out. Because alizarin crimson and all of these ones, they usually dry out a little bit more lighter than normal. Okay, I still like it. I think it's still really nice. Okay, I'm going to do the same technique here. Maybe I get better. Okay. And also because probably I don't have all the time in the world to do all of this. In the meantime, I'm gonna drink some cola, and then you guys can tell me how you're feeling so far. All okay? Still with me? It's Wednesday. I understand. I totally understand. And you have to be a little bit closer by to it. But at the end, when you're gonna add also some white gel pen to it, that's when it's gonna shine, right? That's gonna be when it's looking really nice. So the lucky part is on this palette I have alizarin crimson as well. Okay, it's one of my favorite colors, so I have it in every palette that I can think of. So if you are wondering what's happening, this is what's happening. I am adding alizarin crimson everywhere, and then I'm going to mix that one up with the perlin red, and I'm gonna take some perlin red and mix it here till the ends of things, and then I'm gonna come very nicely with water and spread everything around. So far the first layer is the fastest I've ever done. Okay, so basically covering everything with paint, which can be okay. I mean, no pressure. I was having some watercolor books where they teach you how to do this when you draw without lines, right? So when you draw without lines and you don't follow a contour or whatever, is very important that you first block out basically the color, and then you add details with color on top. So you add glazing on top to make the shapes. So the first thing you're gonna paint is gonna be a blob, like in the general shape of the flower, and then you go from there. So basically, technically, this is what I'm doing right now. Right? I could also do this. I'm notice that I'm testing here stuff. So what I'm testing is, what if I'm wetting stuff and then I'm adding also color in. This is the second technique, and then I will come and I will deepen the colors and so on once this is dry, you know. I mean, why not? I don't want to have hard edges, so I'm going over every petal, making sure that I don't have hard edges. I don't know what I have against hard edges, but I just cannot stand them. If I see something that has hard edges, then I'm a little bit going like. So you have new things you want to try out in art drawing. Yes, there's one thing that I want to try a little bit more landscapes, and I want to try a little bit more forests. But you know, like having a nice background painted, and then having like faded trees in the background, and then coming towards the foreground and trying to do the leaves. So I want to try the no line kind of watercoloring technique, but with forests and landscapes. Now I don't know, I mean, on the drawing I keep saying to myself, oh, I want to learn how to draw faces and how to draw girls and so on. Currently I'm in a phase of I'm watching lots of tutorials, but I'm not actually doing any learning or anything. So I'm just wondering if it's really something that okay, let's put it this way, you know, is it something that I want to learn, or is it something that I think I should be learning? That is the question. Okay, so I don't know the answer to that question. I'm hoping it's not something that I say I want to learn because I'm thinking everybody is expecting me to learn, right? And on this respect, I am still pretty confused. But definitely landscapes and a little bit more galaxy and planets and stuff. Space. I was watching actually some YouTubes about space, about black holes and about all sorts of stuff. I mean, I'm still a scientist at heart, so probably that's why I like it. In a way, I envy the people that just go and throw paint on a paper and, you know, they get really messy. I don't have that in me, the messiness, and I think I wanna try it. I wanna see if being a messy artist on a paper and just trying to get shapes out of just some shapes and some brush strokes and leave it messy, I want to know if that feels liberating or if that will be even more nerve-wracking for me, right? Because I don't know the answer to that question, because I never try it, because I'm always scared. At least I'm telling myself I'm not gonna like it, so then I never try it, and then I always envy these people that can do that. And then I'm like, okay, you know, Claudia, enough is enough. I think you need to try it to figure out whether you're actually going to like it or not. Okay. I like how the colors look like when they're still wet. But okay, we'll see how it dries out, right? There's no good or bad things happening. I am picking up petals one by one. Nobody is expecting you to learn. The rules about making art are from the past. Just spend time on what you want to learn. Oh, thank you. Yes. Wasn't it that like that in the past when you were going to, like, let's say art university or something like that, and you were like, you had to do a certain style and you had to learn a certain way of drawing and stuff like that. I think I wouldn't thrive in such an environment. I don't think I'm made for following rules. I just want to follow my own thing. And if I want to do this type of flowers, then we're gonna do this type of flowers. And if there's other type of flowers I want to do, I will do them. Oh, somebody was meowing. Was somebody meowing? Did I hear a meow? Was my kitty cat meowing? Okay. Now we're gonna go back to alizarin crimson. We're gonna do some more alizarin crimson, because that is a very peculiar color, right? It's a very nice color. But what I know for sure, in my initial, like in the country where I grew up, I don't think being an artist would have been very frowned upon. Let's put it this way. I don't think I could have ever gotten to do what I do right now. That's why Van Gogh left art school. Yes, he was like me. He was like, I'm against everything. We go against stuff. That's true. Way to go, Van Gogh, I would say. He was the pioneer of, I don't want to do what you're doing. I wish sometimes I could say that to everybody. Almost did weird part there. When it's gonna dry, it's gonna look much better, and then I'm gonna add lots of white details and so on, and then we're gonna be okay. Okay. We're gonna add here some perlin maroon here and there, and just do some of these petals. There's one thing that I don't like, and now I'm going to upset people with this one, right? But I noticed some friends, they went to art school and so on, and maybe it depends on the art school, but you know, they make all these installations and all this type of art, but it all looks very similar to me. You know, they do these outlandish forms and this random stuff, unfinished work from different materials and so on. I think for me it's because I don't like messy stuff, and I have such an aversion to messy stuff that when I see that, I'm like, why are they doing this? And they're like, oh, we're in art school, we're doing this stuff. I am not in favor of that. And they all seem to do the same thing. Don't know if you noticed, right? They all seem to go like, we're using the same themes and we're using the same ideas. We talk about politics or blah blah blah, VR art, and we make this installation and it's about the poverty, or we're doing stuff from recycled material, and don't know. I mean, I'm not saying what I'm doing is very original, because it's not. It's just flowers, for freaking out loud, right? But at least I don't think any of us is behaving in a way that would say, well, just okay. I'm gonna do some leaves with blue. Maybe I have something against institutionalized art schools. Could be that that's what I'm against. I'm not necessarily against art schools, but against institutional art schools, where, you know, they force you to find a certain path and stuff like that. I think the one thing maybe nowadays in the art schools that there are is that people teach you a little bit more on the business side as well, how to sell stuff, how to do things. And maybe in a way, maybe in the past that wasn't so, you know, I can understand certain things. I can understand why you would use that. But do I believe they would teach you color theory? No, I don't think so. What am I doing here? As in, what I'm doing here, all mixing these colors, right? For me, these sessions with you guys, it's not about making art for you or for anybody else, right? I'm messing up. It's for me to experiment, because it is for me to say, I have a set time during the week where I'm actually sitting down and I'm doing art. It doesn't matter to me how it looks like or what's going on. It doesn't matter that I'm realizing, you know, maybe putting that blue leaf there wasn't such a great idea. It probably wasn't, because I don't know if the colors go well together. But the important part is, hey, I actually tested it out, right? I am testing out, and next time I will look at this piece and I'll think, okay, what do I take out of it? What's the nice color stuff? What's the nice thing that I did here that works, and what is the other thing that didn't work, right? And this is what I'm taking out of it. And like I said, it's not for me to create wonderful, beautiful art. It's for me to go like, this is a nice tryout, right? Okay. Still nice. Still looks okay. I think I need to bring that because I added this blue now, right? You can't go back. So I'm feeling like I have to add this blue or something similar to that, and this too. What do you guys think? Let me know. I am getting really thirsty. It's probably very hot in here, so my apologies. In the meantime, I will try to do that. I will try to do the blue, because that will tie in with these leaves, right? And I'm using the powder blue. It's not powder blue, it's galaxy blue actually. I'm using galaxy blue. And then I'm gonna deepen it with some thunder blue. And for this one, I cannot go over the entire area, because to be honest, I don't think I have a lot of white space in between. So I'm going to be very careful going over every petal and trying to add the color. Okay, then I'm gonna come with the darker blue and I'm gonna shade. And that's okay. In a way, I'm thinking I need to balance out all this yellow and red. Although, if you think about it, the yellow and the red is everywhere in autumn. And I'm not sure if it's necessarily balanced. I'm thinking, is this color scheme balanced in nature by anything blue? I mean, blue things are very rare in nature. Blue flowers are very rare. So the question is, in the autumn landscape, is it balanced by anything? Or is it maybe balanced by brown? Could be. I don't know. I'm gonna try to do some more experimenting on these flowers. I'm gonna see how it looks like and what's going on. Okay. Yeah. That really stands out, right? That stands out. Let's put it this way. And that's good. And I'm bringing this darker blue here, and I'm trying really hard to make it a gradient, because I don't want to lose the galaxy blue. I want to have it as part of it. Okay, maybe I should have used a smaller brush, but for now, let's see how we can manage with the brush that we have. Okay, seems to be going okay. The one in the back, being in the back, I'm just gonna do it all like that. And some of these ones that are in the back, I'm just gonna try to do them darker than the remaining. It feels a bit weird that you have the back petals like lighter than the front petals. Just feels a bit unnatural. Okay. And maybe I'll add some purple, because I think in the end some of them can have some purple and pink, and that will bring the whole piece together. Okay. Okay. The fun part is these colors, the thunder blue and so on, they're very super granulating. So whenever you're putting in a smidget of water onto them, they will immediately go berserk. Okay, now I said that I wanted to have some purplish pinkish, so let's see, let's choose a couple. Let's choose this one, for example. Choose this one. This one. Okay. That's good. That's good. By the way, I'm using the Galaxy Pink right now. Okay, so yay. So 3 colors. The hardest part on this type of chrysanthemum is that the leaves are so tiny and thin. So it's very hard to control where the water goes. It's okay. It's not that bad. Okay. I've done that one. And now we're gonna do this one, and then we're gonna add all sorts of details with white gel and with, you know, gold and so on. Okay, let me double check here if there's nothing in the chat. No, there's nothing in the chat for now. I started also adding shorts. I was making some shorts. I'm testing the making shorts functionality in YouTube. So yeah, I was just testing it. I don't know if you guys have managed to play around with it. I just had a very short video that I wanted to post, and I just posted it. I was thinking, well, everybody's, you know, a little bit in love with the shorts. Maybe. Or maybe I was wrong. I don't know. I will try to post more and more shorts, and also I'm going to post more in the community tab. I started today as just wanted to engage with all of you, because I know I'm doing mainly live streams. It could be that my live streams are in the wrong time zone. Could be. Maybe everybody is actually sleeping when I'm doing live streams, and then you go like, oh no, I missed the live stream. Could be. You never know. I mean, I notice myself that I'm not watching anymore the long videos, so that is just normal. We don't have time to watch that long videos anymore. Doesn't mean we have to give up. Maybe making medium videos, medium length, I mean. That would be something. Okay. Okay. And now I'm going to bring in the other color. I'm gonna make some of these petals much more darker. And then some of the petals with a little bit of pink. Let us see. And suddenly I became very concentrated in what I'm doing here, because to be honest, it's really hard. It's really hard to control all of this. The petals are so tiny that I'm afraid every time I'm doing this that I'm going to mess it up. I hate when I'm thinking that I'm messing up. I mean, painting should be fun. If you're wondering why I don't draw this type of flowers so much, right? Then, yeah, that is the reason why. Now, let's do some fun stuff. Shall we do some fun stuff? I would think we should, right? Some neutral tint. Let's add some dots here and there. And then I'm gonna come with a white gel pen everywhere. I mean, these leaves are dying, man. They need to have, right? Okay. Yes. And the dark one. Dark blue. Why not? Okay. And now, with the white gel pen, I'll add all sorts of details, okay? Marlena says, it's awesome and the colors are gorgeous. Ooh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now let's see if I can figure out where my white gel pen is. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did I put my white gel pen somewhere where I cannot find it? Oh no, it's here. It's here. We found it. We found it. I'm adding white to all of these parts of the petals that are curling upward. And then maybe in the middle, some dots. That really opens it up, because otherwise it's too dark. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. I need to be very careful what I'm doing, but not all too careful, right? Yeah, that looks pretty nice as well. Let's add here some, just love white gel pen when it comes in contact with the paper and you're adding all these details. It just opens it up, man. And you can, of course, you don't need a white gel pen. You can do that with gouache. It's okay. Or not do like me and actually have some white peeking out. I'm really bad and notorious at letting white peeking up. Okay, now this is a form of stippling, okay, but with dots, so that's okay. It's black dots. I'm adding some interest here and there, so that is no longer that meh, you know. This one is not dry yet, so it's going to be very hard to add details like that. But you see how just a tiny bit of the white gel pen and it completely opens up. I think I've added enough. I just wanted to thank you all for staying so long with me. 1.5 hours on the latest live stream. Really nice. If you want to see how this one looks like, follow me on Instagram. I usually post these ones on Instagram, and then you'll see like how does it look like in real life, or like in, not when it's artificial light here because of the filming, but how would it look like in the normal sunlight. And cool, that's about it for tonight. Thank you again. I'm going to stop the live stream. If you haven't done already, please don't forget to subscribe, because you know it really helps me and the channel to know that you guys like the content and you want to continue. And don't forget to leave comments. I'm making community posts, so leave comments if you want something specific, if you want different type of videos, let me know, and then I'll be happy to change course and to, you know, do some other type of content than just live streaming. So thank you so much. Have fun, enjoy the night,